I'm Misty. I still remember the look on my mother-in-law, Vivian's, face when the video of her antics at my wedding was projected on the big screen. Her cheeks flushed bright red with rage, and her eyes widened in disbelief as the crowd gasped and then broke into laughter. It was a moment of pure satisfaction after years of her trying to make my life miserable. Let me take you back to the beginning. I met my husband, Ethan, at a charity event. He was volunteering with a local animal rescue, and his passion for helping those in need was immediately evident. His kind eyes and warm smile captured my heart, and we quickly hit it off. Over the next 3 years, our relationship blossomed, and we decided to get married. Ethan came from a wealthy family. His father, Henry, was a successful businessman, and his mother, Vivian, was used to getting her way. From the moment I entered Ethan's life, Vivian made it clear that she didn't approve of me. I was from a middle-class family, and I think she saw me as an outsider. One of the first times we had a family gathering was at our new apartment. Ethan and I wanted to show our families our new home and celebrate. I spent hours cooking a delicious meal, and Ethan took care of the decorations. But as soon as Vivian walked in, she started criticizing everything. "The food is too salty," she said, pushing her plate away. "And this apartment is so small. Ethan deserves better." I tried to stay calm, but it was hard. Henry would sometimes tell her to be quiet, but she just ignored him. Ethan, however, had enough. "Mom, Misty worked really hard on this dinner. You need to show some respect," he said firmly. Vivian looked taken aback. "But I'm just being honest," she replied. "No, you've been rude all night. This is our home, and we're happy with it," Ethan snapped. Vivian mumbled an apology, but I could tell she was annoyed. After that, she kept her distance for a while, and I thought things were getting better. When Ethan proposed to me on a beautiful mountain hike, I was over the moon. I started planning our dream wedding, and I even invited Vivian to help with some of the arrangements. I thought it would be a good way to build a better relationship with her. One of the most exciting parts for me was choosing my wedding gown. I invited Vivian to come with me to the bridal shop. At first, everything seemed fine. But as soon as the attention wasn't on her, she started causing a scene. She complained about the styles of the dresses, saying they were all outdated. She pinched the fabric and even tried to adjust the dresses with safety pins, poking me in the process. She argued with the cashier about the prices, even though Ethan and I could easily afford whatever we wanted. Finally, the manager had to ask her to leave. I was humiliated and in pain. I called Ethan right away. "Babe, today was a disaster," I said, on the verge of tears. "What happened?" he asked, sounding worried. "Your mom caused a huge scene at the bridal shop. She got kicked out," I explained. Ethan was furious. "I'm so sorry, Misty. You don't have to deal with her anymore. I'll tell her to stay away from the wedding planning." I was relieved, but I knew Vivian wouldn't give up easily. She started sending me angry texts, saying that I was ruining Ethan's life and that the wedding would be a disaster. During my bachelorette party, my maid of honor, Lily, brought up the topic of Vivian. "Do you think she'll do something at your wedding?" Lily asked. I shrugged. "I doubt it. Ethan told her to stay away." Lily shook her head. "She loves the attention. You know she'll try to ruin your big day." I hesitated. "I'm not sure. What do you suggest?" Lily smiled mischievously. "Let's be prepared. We'll set up cameras on the bridesmaids, groomsmen, and waitstaff. If she tries to cause trouble, we'll expose her." I was a bit hesitant at first, but I knew Lily was right. "All right, I'll trust you with this." The big day finally arrived. As I walked down the aisle, I was filled with excitement and nerves. When I saw Ethan at the end, his eyes filled with tears and a big smile on his face, I knew it was all worth it. But then, as the ceremony began, Vivian's true colors started to show. She was sitting in the front row, scowling. As the officiant started speaking, she began whispering sarcastic comments. "The decorations are so tacky," she said loud enough for some people around her to hear. "And these vows are so cheesy." I tried to ignore her, but it was hard. Some of the guests shot her disapproving looks, while others coughed to drown out her negativity. When Ethan and I exchanged rings, Vivian audibly scoffed and rolled her eyes. It was a moment that should have been so special, but her behavior made it less so. On the way to the reception, Ethan and I talked about what had happened. "What is wrong with her?" Ethan said, shaking his head. "I know, right? I can't believe the audacity," I replied, feeling exhausted. "I'm going to talk to her." "This can't go on," Ethan said, his voice filled with frustration. I smiled weakly. "You might have to hold me back." Ethan looked at me and said, "We still have our plan. Let's turn the tables on her." When we arrived at the reception, the music was playing, and the drinks were flowing. Ethan and I shared our first dance, and the room was filled with laughter and joy. But Vivian wasn't done yet. Throughout the reception, she found something to complain about. The flowers weren't the right color, the seating arrangements were all wrong, and she even complained about the people sitting next to her. When she realized no one was paying attention to her, she took it a step further. She tried to sabotage the cake-cutting ceremony by pushing me into the cake. Thankfully, Ethan was quick and stopped her. Then, she tried to spill her drink on me, but she ended up tripping and spilling it all over herself. Her frustration grew, and her last stunt was holding a blown-out candle up to the smoke detector, triggering the fire alarm. The alarm went off, and there was a moment of chaos. But Ethan quickly took control, getting the security to check the alarm, and we were told to continue the celebration. As the night wore on, we decided to make a toast. While our guests were making heartfelt speeches, Vivian grabbed the microphone. She started boasting about her own achievements and how she had always been the guiding force in Ethan's life. The room fell silent, and everyone exchanged uncomfortable glances. Ethan and I looked at each other, and I signaled Lily. It was time to put our plan into action. As the night went on, the bridesmaids and groomsmen engaged Vivian in casual conversation, and she started venting her bitterness about me. She even said that she wished she could stop the wedding. The waitstaff also played their part. They gave her subpar service, mishandling her drinks and getting her orders wrong. Her frustration grew, and she started shouting her displeasure. When she tried to spill a drink on me again, one of the staff subtly tripped her, and she spilled it on herself. And all of this was caught on camera. At the end of the night, we gathered all the footage. Our best man, who was a videographer, compiled it all and gave it to Lily on a USB drive. We dimmed the lights and projected the video. The room was stunned as they watched Vivian's rude remarks, her attempts to sabotage the wedding, and her setting off the fire alarm. Vivian was caught off guard. She tried to defend herself, but before she could say anything, Lily took the microphone. She started recounting embarrassing stories about Vivian, and the room filled with laughter. Vivian's face turned bright red with rage. "That's not true." "Stop this now," Vivian demanded, trembling with anger. Lily shot back, "If I asked anyone in this room about a bad experience, they'd all mention that one time with Vivian." Vivian looked around the room, her fists clenched. "Why is no one stopping her?" she shouted. Lily smiled. "If everyone tolerates you, they can tolerate me. I'm being an angel compared to you." Vivian turned to Ethan. "Ethan, please, do something. She's embarrassing me." Ethan replied calmly, "Embarrassing you? No, she's just having fun. Everyone seems to be enjoying it." Before Vivian could say anything else, I signaled the DJ to crank up the music. The crowd returned to the dance floor, leaving Vivian alone, seething. She couldn't handle the embarrassment and stormed off. The rest of the evening was filled with love and joy, free from her toxic presence. Our revenge had been sweet, and it was a reminder that actions have consequences, and kindness always prevails.